Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 97 today. We are 3 away from 100. It's going to be pretty crazy, but we don't got to talk. We say that like every time.
Every time. Well, once we got to 90, it was like, it is close.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Quick disclaimer for anybody watching the YouTube video. I'm going to be itching this entire time. It's not the jersey. Granted, the jersey is fake. I don't have the kind of money for real jerseys. But like,
You didn't have to expose yourself.
it's insulation. I was working in insulation all day. I will be itching all podcasts.
Also, another quick disclaimer. Last episode, if you did not listen, by the way, go subscribe on YouTube and download it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
But last episode, we said we had a very long episode, and towards the end of the episode, we said, if you get to the end, comment Reggie Jackson is the GOAT on our YouTube, and our YouTube comments were disabled for that video. So
For that video.
shout out to my cousin Jared, because
And-
he texted me and said that he tried to comment and it wouldn't let him. So, yeah,
And-
sorry if anyone else tried.
Shout out Todd Lake. Also texted me.
Oh, really?
Quick shout out to Todd Lake. He deserves it.
Yeah, so
From
you
now
guys
on,
deserve the shout out, but we're going to try to make sure that our comments are...
Well, our Instagram comments are always on.
Oh, true, yeah, Instagram.
We
But
should put-
YouTube is cooler, though,
It's
because
way
that's where the
cooler.
podcast is.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure our comments are fixed, and maybe we'll just start making that a thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you make it to the end, comment this.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
exactly.
We can see who like the
And like our
super
last
dope
YouTube
listeners.
video got a little, like, just decent more views than they usually do. So
bit of buzz.
keep checking us out and liking and subscribing, because it's awesome.
It does help us out, and it gives us like extra motivation.
Yeah.
Like, granted, we love doing this, and I think we would do it if there was 0 viewers.
Yeah.
But like, it does help. Makes you just want to get
it
back
makes you
in.
want to do it even more.
Yeah.
So let's hop into the episode today. Yesterday was game 1 of the NBA Finals, Phoenix Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Last time we met was when Giannis just had gotten hurt, and the Giannis injury thing was just a really weird process because we didn't really know how to predict the finals because of Giannis's injury. And yesterday, or the day before the game on Monday, he got upgraded to doubtful from out, and then early Tuesday morning he gets upgraded to questionable, and then it's looking like he's doing everything he can to play. Giannis does end up playing.
And he looked all right. I mean, he didn't look like anything was wrong with him at all.
I mean, he definitely wasn't as aggressive as he usually is. I think he only took 11 or 12 shots, which, a Giannis in the NBA Finals, you'd like him to take upwards of the high teens, 20 shots maybe. But yeah, Giannis definitely played a lot better than, or at least his injury didn't seem as bad as everyone thought, and he was playing great defensively as well. Had that super crazy block.
He had a couple just super athletic plays still, the Giannis type
It was
plays.
just really nice to see, because even if Giannis came back, it was I don't want to see a Giannis that just
Hobbled.
isn't even 100% at all, not even 50%.
Like Harden, when
Yeah,
we watched
exactly,
Harden,
like when
and it was
Harden came back,
Who
yeah.
is this dude? Like, he's jogging everywhere, just kind of passing it up
just
the court.
passing, looking to get other guys going. But
I think part of Giannis not scoring too was Chris Middleton's explosion in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So but he didn't even look as aggressive on most fast breaks.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the same.
But yeah, before this game started, I decided to make a finals prediction just so I
tweeted it?
in case I was right. Yeah, I tweeted it. Follow me on Twitter. And I said Bucks in 7. I said that because of Giannis was reportedly going to play game 1, and yeah, I mean, I just feel like the Bucks are going to win. Am I rooting for the Bucks? No, but am I rooting for the Suns? No, I'm not really rooting for a specific team. Like if I had to root for one, it would
picking
be the
Suns.
Suns. But I'm not the Bucks make a shot and I'm like,
Screw the
fuck, dude. I'm not like that. But the Bucks played pretty good offensively, but they just could not get a stop. And I don't really know if it's that they couldn't get a stop.
That wasn't the issue.
The Suns couldn't miss.
Yeah.
The Suns came out and this was a really good first half. It was really entertaining, close first half. And then the third quarter, the Suns just took over. They weren't missing free throws. I actually don't know if they ended up missing any free throws.
They did.
They did late
Because
in
I
the
remember
game, yeah.
somebody, there was that was their first miss in 25
Yeah,
because
they
were
were
I think
like
it was Ayton missed and
probably,
one,
yeah.
I think.
But the Suns in the third quarter blew up. They almost had 100 points at the end of the third quarter. And it was strictly based off of the Milwaukee Bucks switching strategy. In the series against the Atlanta Hawks after Giannis got hurt, In the final 2 games of that series, they decided to switch everything instead of going under the screen so they don't have to switch, because that's how Trae Young was getting a lot of buckets. And it was working. So the switching strategy worked. Even though if it's Brook Lopez on Trae Young, you'll take that rather than a wide open 3. But the Phoenix Suns are a little different than the Trae Young, because Trae Young, not saying he doesn't have a mid-range pull-up, but he doesn't really shoot it. He's either shooting a 3 or a floater. So
it's a completely
Brook
different
Lopez
type
can
of game.
send him to the hoop where a guy can contest a floater, rather than a Devin Booker or Chris Paul who at any moment can stop on a dime and just pull up from mid-range. Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis kept getting switched on to those two, and it just was not the move. The Suns were taking great advantage of it.
I don't know if Bobby Portis will honestly play another minute in this series. There was like a 5-minute stretch in the third quarter where you're watching, and it's the stretch where Chris Paul is going off. And Bobby Portis, they literally just, hey, let's get Bobby Portis on him. And he exposed him for like 6 minutes straight. And then Book had the ball one play and got Bobby Portis on him. Bobby Portis clamped him up for like a whole possession, and then D-Book just rose up and hit the shot anyways.
I know.
And it was, I
Chris
was like,
Paul exposed him on that one play too.
Chris Paul did him dirty.
Yeah.
Like Chris Paul exposed
and like
him.
Portis isn't even that bad of a defender. He's just not quick enough. And like I said, Budenholzer didn't really make any adjustments to stop switching. Maybe on Chris Paul, we can go under the screen.
He's not going to pull
Chris
up the
Paul,
3.
he might shoot the 3 if he makes it all right, but he's not going to shoot 8 of them in a row, So like maybe we can afford to go under the screen, keep PJ Tucker on him. But yeah, the Bucks looked effective when they ran Giannis at the 5 with no big a couple times.
Beautiful. Finally.
It worked pretty well. But Giannis is still slightly injured. I mean, he still played like 37 minutes or something, but offensively, the Bucks, I think, played fine. That's the thing. Like, they played a pretty good offensive game.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday really didn't. I mean, he always is going to play a great guard role. But
Drew Holiday, did you see this tweet today? Where it was like the Scooby-Doo gang taking off a mask of Drew Holiday, and under it was Eric Bledsoe. And
he's way all around, though. He does need to score more.
He needs to score more.
Yeah.
But Brook Lopez had a great game.
He had a great offensive game, yeah.
And defensively, it's tough when
it's
you're
not really
playing,
his fault,
no,
yeah.
It's tough when you're playing Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul will expose majority of the league.
And he will continue, and that's the thing. If they see a flaw that the Bucks are doing in their defense, he will attack it and continue to attack it until either he's taken out of the game or the defense switches something up. And the Bucks didn't switch anything up.
We know Coach Bud doesn't make in-game adjustments.
So, the Suns win game 1 of this series.
Real quick, my prediction, Sandal asked me because he wanted to know it, and I went same route. I went Bucks in 7 once I heard Giannis was back. And this first game didn't change my mind.
Me either. That's the thing.
I think people are too quick to jump the gun.
Off of one game. Yeah. I say Bucks in 7. That means that they have to lose 3 games.
Yeah.
I don't get why it's
I don't expect them to win 5
If
or
the
4
Suns go out and win game 2, then okay, maybe it might not go 7, but
see, and I don't even think that. Phoenix's home court advantage is pretty crazy.
And Phoenix also played amazingly offensively. I don't think they're going to have another game like that. I mean, they might try to replicate it somewhat, but another game shooting the ball that well, especially in the third quarter, that's going to be tough to do.
How many points? Do you know how many points Chris Paul had in the third? Because that stat came up.
He had 0 in the first half.
0 in the first quarter.
0 in the first quarter. Yeah, 11 in the second.
Was it like 26?
I think it was like 20.
22?
I think it was like something like that. Yeah.
Maybe. I remember sitting there watching, and I'm like,
no, I think it was 16 because he had 27 at the end of the third. Yeah, and then he had that 1-3 in the fourth. Yeah.
You're right. That game out of Chris Paul was unreal. I could seriously sit there and watch Chris Paul play. And I've been a big Chris Paul fan. Have I gotten to watch him much? No, he's been in the West. Like, I've been young for his entire career.
Right.
And I haven't been staying up for those late night games. But, like, now, as an adult, really getting to watch him year after year, on the Rockets, that one year with Harden, it is amazing watching him. And I didn't realize, like, as a basketball fan, I can say I was in the wrong here. I didn't realize how quick and shifty Chris Paul was.
Oh, yeah.
I had, like, almost no idea. I thought he was more of, like a short Jason Kidd kind of deal. Like, just short and, like, not very fast, just super smart.
Just very fundamental.
Plays the game the right. He is shifting everybody this playoffs.
Well, yeah.
Shaking everybody. And I didn't know that was Chris Paul. So, as an NBA fan, that's my fault. My fault.
Yeah, what the hell, dude. But yeah, this game 1 was really good. Game 2 is tomorrow night, Thursday night, in Phoenix, obviously. Nobody got injured in this game or anything, so that's really good. Giannis
Dario
is going
Saric did.
Oh, Dario
Tore
Saric
his
did.
ACL.
He actually tore his ACL.
Yeah, he's
Dude,
out for the series.
The craziest part, were you there when I said that he wasn't cool? I want to give a quick apology to Dario Saric. We were watching this game, and I used to like Dario Saric when he played for the Sixers. Like, I actually was a fan of him. But I just said, like, Dario Saric just feels out of place on this Suns team because they're this cool, like, they're just a really cool team,
Everybody's
a fun
cool.
team. And then there's Dario Saric, and he just, like, is not cool. And I literally said exactly that, and I look up at the TV, and bam, tears his ACL.
I mean, he is walking off the court. Like, Skunk is looking away from the TV the whole time, and we're like, yeah, he just got hurt. And all of a sudden, he's walking off the court. And it's like, oh, he's really hurt.
Yeah, and then he gets replaced by Frank Kaminsky, who's just as not cool. Maybe even worse.
Oh, Frank Kaminsky's way worse than Dario Saric. Way worse.
But the rest of the series, I mean, we've kind of talked about it, but Milwaukee needs to find a new defensive strategy. Offensively, like I said, I think they're fine. Drew Holiday needs to step it up a little bit, but he does a great job playmaking. He almost had a triple-double in Game 1. Chris Middleton was the only reason that the Bucks even stayed in this game in the third and fourth quarters. But I think we're going to see less minutes from, like, Pat Connaughton played pretty well, but he played like 30 minutes off the bench. Giannis is just going to get increasingly more minutes as the series goes on. Brook Lopez, that's the thing. He was playing great offensively, but he was just such a liability on defense just because of their switching. So
And that's Coach Bud. Coach Bud needs to make a
and
change.
that's the thing. How much are we going to see of Brook Lopez in this game? And the Suns won this game great with Jay Crowder shooting the ball like horribly, like not making a single shot. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes. Game 2 prediction.
I got Game 2, in all honesty. I think I'm going to go give it to the Suns still.
I kind of feel like I agree with you on that one.
In Phoenix, I mean, those fans are crazy, and the Phoenix players, a lot of those guys are either young or they're vets who get hype.
Yeah.
Like, they feed off that energy like nobody else. And Milwaukee...
Yeah, they're going wild. Milwaukee's got great fans, too.
They have great fans, but I feel like their players don't feed off the energy the same
I agree.
way.
I definitely agree
Like,
with that.
when Book, it feels the energy.
I mean, even like the Suns when they made the finals, that whole celebration they had in Phoenix, you didn't see Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez out in Milwaukee doing that.
Like, Book was going crazy. Granted, Book is like 24.
Yeah.
So, 24.
Yeah, 24, yeah.
So, like, he's young. He's really living it up right now. But those guys feed off the energy extremely well. And when they get it going, they are very hard to stop in Phoenix. All they need is a quarter.
Definitely.
All they need.
Quick talk about, too, just the Suns and Bucks being in the finals. There's a lot of people saying that the finals are going to be, but before Game 1, that the finals are going to suck because there's no LeBron, there's no Curry, Durant, Harden. I mean, not Harden, but like just these top tier. I mean, Giannis is a top tier player, but like not the casual NBA fan doesn't really like know who Giannis is, I feel like.
I think they know who he is, but they don't.
Not he's not in that group of Curry, LeBron,
you don't,
KD, though Kawhi even. I feel
you don't watch him, and I can say this: like, I don't watch Giannis and think, "Wow, he's amazing." Like, he's so talented.
I mean, when he's dominating, though, he's super.
I get
fun
that,
to watch.
but it's not like it's no different, or it's a lot different than when KD or Bron is dominating. It looks a lot different. It's a lot less appealing to a casual NBA fan than when those dudes are dominating.
And
I think that's the difference.
And it's also like. There's not, an LA team in the finals, Miami, New York, Chicago, none of these top markets. I think that if you are a fan of a team that is not Milwaukee, LA, Miami, New York, Golden State, any of these top markets, you should be so happy that it is Suns versus Bucks. Like, as a Pistons fan, you know how awesome it is that it's Suns versus Bucks in the finals? Like, when is the last time we've had a team not counting the Cavs? Because the Cavs are a small market, but LeBron was on their team, so that doesn't count.
He's the biggest market in the NBA.
Golden State, I mean, that does not count.
Yeah.
Miami versus the Lakers last year. I mean, like, it is Toronto, not really, though. Toronto's a pretty big market team, at least, franchise.
I mean, it's Canada's only team.
Exactly. So it's just been, like, this is so cool to see these two teams go against each other, especially the Suns, just because they don't really have like a superstar like the Bucks do. But like I said, if you're a fan of one of these lower market teams, that you should be so happy that it's Suns Bucks. I feel like.
I think I completely agree with that. Like, if you're a fan of a small market team, you should be excited, no doubt about it. If you're a fan of basketball, you should love watching this finals.
Yes.
These are two incredible basketball teams that go about 8 guys deep of really talented players. Cam Johnson came in the game and just balled out.
Yeah.
Most
Payne played pretty well too.
I don't think many people know who Cam Johnson is. Like,
Unless you're like a big college basketball guy.
I mean, this Phoenix Suns team and Bucks team are so much fun to watch if you're a fan of basketball, especially Devin Booker
and it's
Chris
just
Paul.
good because it's not. I mean, I think it's good for the NBA. I know the injuries played a big part. I get that. We've talked about that plenty of times. It's a very annoying situation to me, but like having these two teams here, it's not these two super teams playing against each other either. You know, it's like we don't really know who's going to win this series, and going into this season, who would have told you Suns Bucks in the finals? Yeah, Lakers Nets finals would have been awesome, but everybody picked that, you know? So it's just cool to have this unpredictability. Like I said, it comes with a grain of salt because of the whole injury thing, but still, there's nothing we can do about it at this point.
Yeah, and at the same time, we're the same NBA fans who were complaining about parity 3 years ago.
When the Warriors and Cavs made it 4 years
ago.
ago.
I would love to see something different. Now we have something different.
By the way,
people are like, we're not watching.
Yeah. How crazy is it that it was Warriors versus Cavs for 4 years in a row? That never happened in the late in the early NBA history. Like
I didn't realize how crazy that was until the last 3 years when we've had 6 different teams in the finals.
I mean, even like when the Bulls were going, they were playing a different team they played the Jazz back-to-back years. That's it.
Yeah.
The Lakers, they played a different team every year when they three-peated.
Warriors Cavs dominated the NBA for the 1 year the Cavs almost didn't make it. And then Brown just turned up.
2018.
Yeah. But no, it is unreal because 6 different teams in the last 3 seasons. You've got Warriors, Raptors, Lakers, Heat, Bucks, Suns.
Yeah.
That's 6 different teams in the last 3 years. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fifth of the league in the finals in the last 3 years. Great for NBA fans. You should be excited. I think that was part of the issue with NBA popularity. It was too predictable.
Yeah, exactly. And even though it was so predictable, but it was also like the Warriors are going to win.
Yeah,
you know, It was just like, it doesn't even matter. Oh, LeBron, is he going to make it? Doesn't matter. The Warriors are going to beat him. LeBron can put up this crazy playoff run to get swept by the Warriors, you know?
He averaged 45, 12,
exactly.
and 12.
And like this year, the Nets, like their team was super good. And I think even if they were 100% healthy, I don't think they're dominating like the Warriors were, you know? So it's super cool to see. If you're hating on the Suns versus Bucks in the finals, you're just an idiot.
Yeah, and you're probably not a fan of basketball. You're probably a fan of drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to some other news before we are going to react to our preseason awards and standings. Super excited for that just because I love doing that.
I can only imagine what mine looks like.
But before we do that, we got a couple news things. Hunter Dickinson is coming back to Michigan. He entered the draft, but it was pretty obvious that he was going to come back. So does their transfer Devontae Jones. So Michigan is bringing back a pretty loaded roster this upcoming season.
So I did some research on Devontae Jones, coming from a guy who didn't know much about him. 6'1" point guard, 6'6" wingspan, averaged like 19 points a game at Coastal Carolina. And like 6 assists, I want to say 7.8 maybe or something. It was a high.
That would be a lot.
It was a higher
probably
number.
like 5 or 6.
It was a good number. And he was talking about his draft stock and why he decided to come back. And he said, playing at Coastal Carolina, going to the summer combine or the NBA draft combine, a lot of guys didn't think I could play because I'm from Coastal Carolina. And he blah, blah, blah. And he said, I wanted to go play at Michigan in the Big Ten under Juwan Howard and show that I'm one of the best players in the country.
Right.
And apparently at the combine, this is an ESPN article, I want to say. Apparently at the combine, he balled out defensively. Like, showed he could hang with anybody on defense. And he's a 37% three-point shooter. So,
and that's the thing. Like you kind of, it's kind of nice to compare him to Mike Smith, just because it's very similar situations.
very easy to.
But I've heard that he's more of a scorer than. But at the same time, when Mike Smith played, where did he play at? Columbia, I think. He was like
23.
Yeah, he was like the leading scorer in their division. So I guess he just had to change the way he played for Michigan, which you could definitely see Devontae Jones doing.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Smith went from one of the best scorers in his conference to the best passer in the Big Ten in one season. And I'm hoping Devontae Jones does something very similar, whether it be he's one of the best defensive guards in the Big Ten, or because I mean
him and Eli Brooks backcourt. If Jones is a good defender, it's just gonna be absolute clamps.
It's crazy.
As if they still had Franz too. Oh my god,
6'1" with a 6'6" wingspan.
Yeah, I thought he was taller than that. That's pretty crazy.
No, that isn't. That's an unreal body.
Tyson Walker still will be better though. Just putting that out there.
Was he's a transfer to Michigan State?
Yeah.
From where?
Northeastern, I think. Yeah.
Oh
Northeastern.
yeah, I love that school.
Oh yeah, just like you love Coastal Carolina.
At least they're good at football.
Yeah, last year. But yeah, that was just kind of a Michigan thing to talk about. Next, the Detroit Tigers. If you ain't been keeping up with the Tigers and you claim to be a Detroit sports fan, then you're just doing it wrong, because that wasn't like calling you out or anything.
It is kind of me though.
The Tigers,
I know who Gary Soto is. Like
Gary Soto?
Is that not his name?
Jeffrey Soto?
Jeffrey? He's a closer.
He's a reliever.
Yeah, okay. I knew more than I thought I did.
But the Tigers are playing really well. They're 40-47 right now, third in the AL Central. I know that's 40-47 doesn't sound good, but they were like 20 games under 500. They were above 500 in June, and they're having a great start to July. And they're just hitting the ball really well, which is super cool. Eric Haas has been hitting a lot of homers for them. Their younger pitchers are playing. The Tigers' future is looking bright now that they're actually like starting to be competitive, because that means next year they can bring up the rest of their guys and maybe start to be a playoff team again. So, I mean, I saw something that said since the Pistons won the draft lottery, and it was all four teams, and it was just Tigers' record since then, and it was like Tigers doing good. We'll see how it affects the rest of them. That'd be super cool if they all were good.
Okay, it feels awful being a Detroit sports fan and asking these questions, but I feel like a lot of people probably have the same questions I do about Detroit Tigers. So I feel like this is a safe space, because all of our fans are probably not Tigers fans. And this sounds so dumb because we talked about them for 3 episodes. Who was the home run hitter at the beginning of the year? Barry Hill got a jersey.
Oh, Akil Baddoo.
Is he still balling?
Oh yeah, I mean he's hitting 270. Yeah, he plays every game for them, center fielder.
Who's their
best player is Jonathan Scope.
See, who's that? Give me a position.
He plays first base, but he was a second baseman, but he plays first base because Cabrera DHs.
Oh, Cabrera DHs.
Yeah, but Scope he's pretty good. He's pretty damn good.
And then there's another guy who might get traded at the trade deadline.
Scope is a guy who might get traded just because he's a free agent and But I hope they don't trade him, but they probably won't re-sign him. Jaime Candelario's been on the Tigers for a few years. He's having a pretty good year. They have Zach Short, who there was this crazy story with him when all the floods were going on. He got stuck in traffic and didn't even make the beginning of their game or something because of this roads being shut down.
Like the floods in Michigan recently.
Yeah. And ended up showing up to the game late. I think he was there from when the game started, but missed the whole pregame and everything, and hit a 2-run homer in the game, his first homer of his career, and the Tigers won 2-1 that game.
That's insane.
Yeah, so he's been playing really well though at shortstop. They have the Castros, Willie and Harold Castro.
Okay.
I don't think they're brothers.
Okay.
Actually, I really don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'd assume they're not.
I would assume they're not.
Yeah.
'Cause that'd be crazy.
But who knows?
I feel like that'd be a bigger story, right? Than what it is.
You'd think so. And Robbie Grossman has been hitting the ball pretty well for them. It just sucks because I don't really get to watch the Tigers because I don't have Fox or Bally Sports or whatever. I just look at the box score when they're playing pretty much the whole time. So, but I want to start watching them more.
I would love to actually. I need an app that just tells me what's going on with the Tigers.
I mean, you just go on ESPN.
I don't like their app. I don't navigate it very well. I use the score.
They probably have it on that.
They probably
right?
do. Yeah,
You'd assume they would.
Yeah. Did you see? Here's news from the score. Devin Booker gave a shout out to the Pistons after last night.
Oh,
Or maybe,
yeah. It was in there. Yeah, I saw
Rip
that
Hamilton?
on Twitter. Yeah, just talking about, and he was talking about Grand Rapids and stuff, or someone asked him about Grand Rapids, like growing up there and everything.
He grew up in Granville, which is like it's like Grand Rapids, but like a super nice area.
It pretty much is Grand Rapids. Like
just extremely
generalized,
nice.
it's Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we ready to move on to reacting to our predictions and
Yeah, I
standings
think so.
and everything? Let's do it. So, can you guess what episode this was that we did this?
73.
63.
Ooh,
So,
10 episodes off, which is 5 weeks.
yeah.
Or so.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate. I mean, it was
Wow.
around Christmas time. I listened to the episode today, and it was just super cool because it was like, we're like, it's so snowy out in Michigan. I was like, man, fuck that. Like, I'm so happy it's not snowy right now. But
me too.
so what do we want to go through first? We want to go through like the standings 1 through 15 or awards first.
Let's go through like the obvious one, like finals prediction.
All right, yeah. So finals prediction. The reason why we're doing this right now is because, well, actually, we kind of got it right. So your finals prediction, you had Lakers over Nets in 7. So you went 0 for 2. And then me, I had
Bucks.
I had Bucks over Suns in 7. So
No way.
No, I'm fucking around.
No way. I was like, dude, did you see my eyes get huge? I was like, no.
Imagine, like, there's no way. Yeah, no one had the Suns in the finals.
But you had Bucks, right?
I had Lakers over Bucks in 7. So I did have the Bucks in the finals, but I had them losing, so that's kind of why it doesn't really matter.
But like, no.
We both had the Lakers going back to back, so
like Jordan 96.
Why did we
97.
guess that?
Whoa, why? Why wouldn't we guess
I
that?
know. I just I don't know. Looking back at it, obviously it's
Hindsight
super easy.
2020.
Yeah. So let's go through the standings that we predicted. This was really weird at the time we did this because we said before the episode you'd base your standings off of James Harden is going to get traded. This was before the Harden trade, obviously, because he started the year in Houston, and I didn't. So, and obviously a team that has James Harden on it is probably going to make the playoffs. So I have Houston in the playoffs. I know, like right now it seems dumb, but they had James Harden at the time. So, here's the real standings. We'll go through the East first. The real standings, if you do not remember, I'm just going to go in order. 1 is Philly, 2 is Brooklyn, 3 was Milwaukee, 4 was the Knicks, which neither of us projected that. 5 was the Atlanta Hawks, 6 was the Heat, 7 was the Celtics, 8 was the Wizards, 9 was the Pacers, 10 was the Hornets, 11 was the Bulls, 12th was the Raptors, 13 was the Cavs, 14 was the Magic, and 15 was the Pistons.
So just off the dome, I think I got the Hawks right.
Let's go off of which ones we got right. Yeah. So you did not get the Hawks right. You had the
Was I
Hawks as the
close?
7 seed. So pretty close. 7 versus 5.
Oh, but I felt like I remember.
That's pretty
I feel like
close.
we got an argument over the Hawks.
We did. I mean, we didn't really get in an argument over the Hawks because I had the Hawks as 9. I had the Hawks missing the playoffs. Technically, I guess. But
I mean, midway through the season, they were way
I think we
out.
got in an argument about. I don't know what we got in an argument about. I think it was about the Wizards because I listened to it and we got an argument about the Suns. That's what we got in an argument about, which is so stupid now because technically you're right. But let's go over which ones we got right though in the East. So in the East, we both got the Pistons as the 15 seed. Let's go. Obvious. That one was obvious. I had the Knicks as the 14 seed in the East.
Where'd I have them?
Not much. You had them at 13. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we thought the Knicks. I remember just talking about them. Like the Knicks are gonna suck. They have no structure in New York. And you said something about Julius Randle, and I was like, Julius Randle fucking sucks, dude. Like,
I probably said like this is a great time to revive his career.
Oh no, you just said like we were just talking about who they got on their team. It's like we couldn't even think like who the hell's on the Knicks? Reggie Bullock. But let's just go through the non-playoff teams in the East for us. So my 15 through 9, I had the Pistons at 15, Knicks at 14, Cavs at 13, which was right. They did finish as the 13, so that's 1. Bulls at 12, which was 1 off. Orlando at 11, Charlotte at 10, and Atlanta at 9. So I got all but
right?
2 non-playoff teams right. The Atlanta and the Knicks both made it. I got Charlotte right too. Yeah.
You
So
nailed that.
I'll take that. And then you had Pistons at 15, Cleveland at 14, New York at 13, Charlotte at 12, Orlando at 11, Chicago at 10, which is 1 off, and Indiana at 9, which was right. So you had all the non-playoff except the
No,
Knicks.
except the
So
Knicks.
you had all the non-playoff teams except the
I'm
Knicks,
nice
right?
with it.
Yeah, not bad. And then in the playoffs, my 8 seed was the Wizards, 7 seed was the Pacers, 6 was Toronto, 5 was Miami, 4 was Philly, 3 was Brooklyn, 2 was Boston, and 1 was Milwaukee. We both had the top 3 the same, Milwaukee, Boston, Brooklyn. We were both pretty high on Boston, but they just underperformed.
High. I don't want to get to the award predictions. I don't.
I mean, mine wasn't that good either, but
mine was bad though.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I mean, a couple things you can't really predict. Toronto just sucking from the start of the year. You had them I forgot to go through yours. So you had Washington at 8, Atlanta at 7, Philly at 6, Miami at 5, Toronto at 4, then Brooklyn, Boston, Milwaukee. Yeah, Toronto just sucked right from the start, which was not really expected.
And we both got Philly way wrong.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I had Philly at 4, yeah, and you had them at 6. They were the 1 seed.
Best team in the East.
Yeah, so Boston we got way wrong. We both had them at 2. They were 7. Brooklyn was right in the right area. Indiana, I mean, I had them at 7. They're at 9. That's not that off. We got the Wizards right at 8.
Yeah,
we both had them as
Wizards
the 8
right.
seed. That's super awesome, actually.
It's super weird that we agreed on Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, how good they're going to be.
Because I just remember, it came down to me, obviously, Washington. It came down between Indiana, Washington, and Atlanta for the final 2 playoff spots. And I was like, Washington will make the playoffs. There's no way Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook missed the playoffs, right?
And they were damn close.
Yeah, and they they were horrible for the majority of the year.
Just like the Hawks.
And then Indiana, I just figured they got better. Sabonis is only getting better. Their team just got better in general. So I thought that they for sure were a playoff team. They were close, but they missed it. And then Atlanta, Atlanta was just hard to judge because they were from one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Super young.
Yeah, super young. And then they had a great offseason adding all these guys. And it's how good are they actually going to be?
Pretty fucking good, turns out.
They're pretty good, yeah. And obviously in the playoffs, it changed a little bit, but...
So I remember that team that actually we argued about, and it was the Spurs.
Oh, no, it was OKC. It was OKC. Well, it involved the Spurs.
Yeah,
yes.
involved the Spurs.
Because you had the Spurs as the 14 seed in the West, and you had OKC not as the worst team.
Yeah, I had OKC high.
Really thought OKC was going to be the worst team in the league in general, which they ended as the 14 in the West, so pretty close.
Close.
Let's go through the actual standings in the West. These ones are going to be absolutely way different than the East because the West was just weird. So in real life, Utah was the 1, Phoenix 2, Denver 3, Clippers 4, Dallas 5, Portland 6, Lakers 7, Memphis 8. Just Lakers 7 in general. Just messes everything up. Golden State 9, San Antonio 10, New Orleans 11, Sacramento 12, Minnesota 13, OKC 14, and Houston 15. And that messes everything up too. Houston being the worst team. So let's go through the non-playoff teams like we did for the East. So for me in the West, I had OKC at 15, Minnesota at 14, which is 1 off, Sacramento at 13, 1 off, San Antonio at 12, almost, Memphis at 11, so that kind of sucks that I didn't have them in it. New Orleans at 10, which is 1 off, so I'm pretty close with all these, and then this is the one I don't want to say, the Phoenix Suns as the 9 seed, so... I had Phoenix at 9. And I remember exactly why I had them at 9, and it was only because I didn't think that the Utah Jazz were going to miss the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure you had Utah. No, you didn't. Who did you have missing the playoffs? Or missing it other than me? What did we have differently? Houston. Duh. Yeah. It was because of Houston. And yeah, at the time, I just thought that the Warriors were going to be in, and obviously, this was a pre-Clay. Actually, was it pre-Clay injury? No, I think Clay was hurt.
Clay.
Yeah, but still, I still figured the Warriors would make the playoffs.
Still Steph Curry.
And the Suns, very similar to the Hawks, was just they're a young team. They just got Chris Paul, but how good is that actually going to make them? They were the worst team in the league 2 years ago. They were bad until they went to the bubble. I kind of thought that the bubble thing was
a fluke.
A bubble thing. I mean, a lot of the stuff from the bubble stayed in the bubble. New Orleans was a team that I wanted to have in the playoffs, but I'm happy I didn't because they didn't make it. Let's talk about your non-playoff teams in the West. Sacramento as the worst team in the league.
Oh,
which they were 12. So I mean, it's not that bad, but worst team in the league is a pretty rude thing to do to a team that's not the worst team. San Antonio at 14, OKC at 13, Minnesota at 12, which is one off, Houston at 11, Memphis at 10, and New Orleans at 9, which is 1 or 2 off. So we didn't get any right on the ball in the non-playoff teams in the West.
Not a single one.
But yours is definitely better than mine, just because you had them all right, actually, I think, right? No, Memphis made the playoffs. Golden State you had in, but definitely was still more accurate than mine.
Yeah, definitely. But, like, the playoff teams guessing the non-playoff teams, guessing the bottom 4 playoff teams is pretty easy. Like, the bottom 4 teams to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, like, anything beyond that, it gets tough.
The top, yeah, I mean, pretty much like the top 10 is just super hard to guess. So let's go through our playoff teams. Yeah, these are going to be super far off. So for me, I had the Lakers, or I'll go 8-1. Yep. I had Utah as the 8 seed, which Utah was the 1 seed.
I remember Phoenix and Utah at 8 and 9.
Yeah, and it came down to, like, I was going to put Phoenix over Utah, but I was like, dude, Utah, there's no way that they lose in the first round. Like,
either way, that's probably
they missed the playoffs. Yeah. And I had them as the 8 seed.
The 1 and 2 seed. You had them as 8 and 9. Mine is gonna be better.
I had Golden State at 7, so they missed it at 9. They technically were the 8 seed as far as record goes, but the play-in moved them to 9. Houston I had at 6. I mean, that, like I said, it's pretty bad, but at the time they had Harden. Mavericks at 5, so I got that one right. Denver at 4 and Clippers at 3, so those were flip-flopped in real life. Portland Trailblazers at 2. That one's tough. I was on the Dame train. I thought Portland made it.
Shirt
I wore that just because I was super high on the Portland in the preseason in this video that we did. So, I had a lot of things involving Portland, including them being the 2 seed. I thought that they had a great offseason, which they did. But they weren't the 2 seed. They were the 6 seed. So, and then I had the Lakers as the 1 seed, which I don't think that's that weird. I mean, you had the Lakers as 1 too. I think you just remember that just because they were the 1 seed until LeBron and AD got hurt, and you can't predict injuries. I mean, that's just
you have to predict a healthy season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then for you also had the Utah Jazz as the 8 seed. Yes, so we were both off on that one. I know we were Jazz haters. Dallas as the 7 seed, Warriors as the 6 seed, Phoenix at 5, so showing love to the Suns. Portland at 4, Denver at 3, which is spot on, and then Clippers at 2, Lakers at 1.
Man.
So your standings were definitely better than mine.
But the West was crazy.
The West was just so hard to judge.
Well, think about talent, pure talent on teams. Phoenix and Utah are like
not the 1 and 2
8.
seed. Yeah,
they're like 7 and 8. Like they really are.
Yeah.
Like going into the year, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson were not ballers like they are now.
Campaign wasn't.
Yeah. Campaign, people thought shouldn't be in the league. Like there was a group of people who don't think he belongs. And the Utah Jazz, nobody expected Bogdanovich, Ingles, Mike Conley to all play well. Like you can't predict that.
And I do remember at the end of the video what we were just talking about, like, well, what is our favorite team looking forward to watching? And you said the Phoenix Suns. You're super excited for Booker and the Suns. So I think I said Portland just because like I said, I was rooting for Portland. I think Denver too.
I should clip that so I can not quite a bandwagon. Like I was there at the start of the season.
Pretty much.
But like I did bandwagon once you guys got Chris Paul. Like I did.
Yeah, exactly. But
like that's
so did everyone, unless you're. I do want to say, right now, being an actual Phoenix Suns fan, like for the last your whole life, you were there for #1 overall pick. That probably sucks because there's so many dudes rooting for the Suns now. And I mean, I guess it's probably not that bad because you're gonna win a championship, but it would just suck for people to call you a bandwagon if you're not.
Remember all the love that like the Pistons were getting once they got the first overall pick?
Yeah, and we were already like, this is stupid. Like
I hate y'all.
Yeah, we're not even haven't done shit yet. Like all we did was get the first pick. Imagine if they were in the finals.
Like get out of our fan base.
Imagine how we would be.
Oh my god, dude. Hell no. Oh,
everyone hopping on the Pistons bandwagon.
I hope. And low key, like that'd be nice if we had a bandwagon to hop on. That'd be cool.
So let's get into the awards. These were pretty far off.
Yeah, I mean, you have to guess one player out of 30 players.
And we had to name a bunch of honorable mentions and stuff. I didn't write down any of the honorable mentions, but let's go through it. Let's start with the top one, MVP. Obviously, the MVP went to Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. I had Dame Lillard as the MVP. Like I said, I was big on Portland. That's kind of why I had him as the 2 seed, because I thought Dame was going to win MVP. And he didn't. He was still second team All-NBA. He had a really good year. He was in MVP talks, but was not the MVP. Easton had Jason Tatum winning the MVP. That one's tough.
That one's bad.
Tough.
That one's bad.
Didn't even make an All-NBA team.
We both thought they were going to be a 2 seed.
Yeah, exactly. And I still thought the Tatum being MVP was like a little wild. Like, whoa, he would have to do something like average like 35 a game to win MVP type shit.
I remember you saying that. You were like, what? You were like, huh? I would love to hear.
Or Boston would have just had to been like elites too.
But I remember I know we both had Jokic.
I mean, I still had Tatum as a top player. I think I had him as second. Yeah, I had him on second team All-NBA. So like, I still thought that Tatum was going to be good. Like, I didn't disagree with it. It was just like, whoa, that's a crazy pick. Like, if he wins it, that would be crazy.
I know we both had Jokic in our honorable mentions, too.
Oh, yeah, we definitely both did. And we both had, actually, I want to make sure. Yeah, we both had Jokic on first team All-NBA. So, at least we picked that
We
right.
knew.
Yep.
We knew.
Rookie of the year. This one, Easton got it right. LaMelo Ball was the Rookie of the Year. Easton picked that. I did not. I definitely was the biggest LaMelo Ball fan when he got drafted, but I just didn't think he was going to win Rookie of the Year. I picked James Wiseman. I thought the Warriors were going to be good, and he would be a key piece to that. Pretty bad pick because Wiseman didn't even make an all-rookie team. Actually, he was
hurt.
But even before he got hurt, he kind of really wasn't that good. Yeah. But he did get hurt, yeah. So, I mean, if he would have played a full season, who knows? And it's just like the Warriors started off the year so bad, and then Wiseman got hurt, and they started playing good, so that's not the best sign.
Yeah, and like, would he have beat out Beef Stew? No.
No, like, Isaiah Stewart's definitely better than Wiseman.
No doubt about it.
So, yeah, Easton got one of them right. I was wrong. Sixth man of the year, however, that's when I come in and snag that. Jordan Clarkson won Sixth man of the year, and I did pick that. I'm super happy I got that.
That's a tough one to pick.
Sixth man of the year is a tough one to get right.
There's 30 of them.
Unless if you're picking Lou Will, then it's not that hard. But if you're not picking Lou Will, it's like
you got to be confident.
You got to have a good pick. I got that one right. You went with Danilo Gallinari with the Hawks, which was a very good pick. I mean, he was a very good sixth man. He just had a really slow start to the year. And Clarkson was just, I mean, he got the ball and shoots it. It's pretty hard to not win. And
when you're averaging 20 points a game off the bench, you're going to win.
On the best team in the NBA, too. So
you're going to win.
That also has a factor into it. Defensive player of the year went to Rudy Gobert. Me and Easton both got this one wrong, as we both picked Anthony Davis to win the award. Anthony Davis was not even an all-defensive player, but he was injured for a large majority of the year. But even if he would have been healthy, he would not have made it. So that one kind of stinks. That one, I mean, he was the runner-up with Giannis. I figured that he would get one because he was so close to getting it the year before.
Hot take out of us. That was wrong. Hot take.
Most improved player is like my favorite one to predict because it's just
most
a fun improved player usually in the NBA goes to a guy that went from a pretty like good player to like an all-star player. I mean, obviously Julius Randle won it this year. He made that jump, but like Brandon Ingram the year before, who won it? It was almost Bam Adebayo as well.
Siakam.
Pascal Siakam, yes. Jimmy Butler did it when he was with the Chicago Bulls. Giannis won most improved player.
Yeah.
Paul George did. It usually just goes to a guy that takes that jump from good to great.
There was a point in time where Pascal Siakam almost won it back-to-back.
Yeah.
After that first month.
Because he was nuts to start the year.
We were all like, he's going to do it
was bad,
again.
but he was so good, yeah. But most improved player, we both got this one wrong. Neither of us fucking picked Julius Randle.
We were shitting on him earlier.
And it's super fun to guess, and I already know who I'm going to pick next year. Unless, I guess I have to see the offseason and everything. But
now I'm excited.
Actually, no. Okay, I was going to pick Shea. But, there's no way OKC's good, though. So, I guess I can't pick Shea.
Yeah.
But he was, kind of my guy I was thinking. I picked Zion to win Most Improved Player. It wasn't that bad of a pick as far as he did take a jump. I mean, he went from Rookie of the Year, didn't actually win it, to really good. All-star starter, almost an All-NBA player. Averaged, 27 and 7 and 4 or something like that. But
the thing is,
you can't give Most Improved Player to a second-year player.
And the jump's got to be incredible. The jump almost has to be 15 to 20, 22 a game, which is pretty, or maybe even 12 to 22 a game.
Right.
I mean,
Almost like a guy that we know.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Grant.
Like Jeremy
Like
Grant.
the guy who should have won the award. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I picked Zion. You really can't give it to a second-year player because obviously they're going to take a jump from their rookie year to their second year.
Job.
Yeah, so that one was kind of a, looking back at it, I shouldn't have picked that. And then you picked DeAndre Ayton as your most improved player, which, I mean, if you're counting the playoffs, maybe he would have won it.
Yeah, he would average 18 rebounds a game like he has in the playoffs.
Missed one shot in the game. But yeah, we both got that one wrong. I think as a most improved or a honorable mention, I had Jaylen Brown, which like he was probably the third best player for that, I would say, this year. Like finished third in the race. So
I can't imagine.
Wish I would have picked it.
My guys were. I can't imagine. I can't even think.
Because I remember, like, I can look right now what my honorable mentions were because I had it in here, but I obviously don't have yours.
Mine's in the notebook way over there.
Well, you might as well. Yeah, you could probably reach it.
What episode is this?
63. I just want to see. Most improved, honorable mentions, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Wood. I had Jeremy Grant as an honorable mention for most improved. Nice.
What?
And then I had Jamal Murray and Jaylen Brown. Those were my.
Oh, my God. My honorable mentions.
Jamal Murray, then, man, that would have been nice.
Mine were awful. Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant. Those are horrible.
Both Grizzlies.
Horrible.
Wait, what was your
takes.
honorable mentions for Sixth Man of the Year? Or did you just have
Lou
one?
Will and Montrez? So like super obvious dumb ones.
Yeah, I just had D
Those are
Rose
lame.
D Rose and Dinwiddie.
You're telling me I wasn't more creative than Lou Will and Montrez Harrell?
What about MVP?
Luka, Trey, and AD.
Trey, oh my God, that would have been crazy.
That would have been nuts.
I had Giannis, Luka, Jokic. So
yeah, and I had my D-boy. I had AD, Giannis, and guess who was my third?
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton.
You were so high.
But now next year,
yeah,
he will be.
You should have just done all this next year. Yeah,
next year, Jason Tatum will win MVP, and DeAndre Ayton will be third team All-NBA.
Just copy and paste them for next year. And then Coach of the Year. Obviously, this went to Tom Thibodeau, not somebody that we guessed. I'm going to tell you right now, we did not get that right.
We didn't guess Tibbs.
I picked Terry Stotts, once again, going off of this Portland run. Terry Stotts no longer is a coach in the NBA a year later, so
literally is gone.
Pretty bad pick there. You went with Steve Kerr from the Warriors, so that would have been tough just because he's already won it before.
What a shitty pick. Dude, what was I thinking?
But the thing is, you picked Steve Kerr, but you had the Warriors as the 6th seed in the West. Like, I mean, I guess the Knicks were the 4, but
awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. No, don't try and.
It's just so crazy though, like looking back to like how the NBA was to start the year and now. Like I had Dame Lillard winning MVP, Terry Stotts Coach of the Year, Portland as the 2 seed, maybe even winning it all.
There's no talk of Dame leaving.
Dame might
Portland.
get traded, and Terry Stotts is fired, and Chauncey Billups coaches him now. Like, it's just so weird, like how things change in the NBA, like year by year, things change. I mean, James Harden, like we said, was on the Rockets. He plays with KD and Kyrie Irving.
We never would have guessed that. I saw something that was like every big thing in the NBA that's happened since 2015. It was like a YouTube video. It was the craziest YouTube.
Oh,
it was
dude,
like
I want to watch that.
It was like, holy shit, the NBA is the best league in the world, no question about it. Like the drama in this, it's like watching a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Like Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That's why I loved, like, I almost like the offseason more. I mean, the playoffs is definitely my favorite, but 1B is the offseason because the offseason is just crazy.
I cannot wait for little off task, the Bubble documentary.
Yeah, facts.
That will be literally the most gas
I
documentary
can't
since
wait,
The
dude.
Last Dance.
Oh my God, I can't wait to watch that.
We'll be like 50 is the thing.
Oh yeah, it probably won't come out for a long time.
I hope so. Like, I
isn't
hope I
there a
forget about
Kobe
it.
and Shaq documentary coming out?
It's like a 6-part,
like
right?
about their 3-peat, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a 6-part.
I think they should just make one about Kobe's whole career though.
Yeah, they should just
like
do
kind of like
Kobe.
how they did with The Last Dance, I guess.
Yeah.
The Last Dance was just so awesome how it was though, because it was taking place in the last year, but then it showed the whole career of Jordan. The Last Dance was so awesome.
It was cool.
Dude.
I loved it.
Also, if you like are a newer listener to our podcast, go check out our podcast when James Harden got traded to Brooklyn because we were recording the podcast when that happened, and it was like crazy because we kind of knew that Harden was going to get traded, but we thought it was going to be to the 76ers. Like,
and we both assumed, like with our luck with everything, It was going to come out
right when it got over.
5 minutes after, and all of a sudden,
we also realized that Houston got absolutely nothing for James Harden. Karis LeVert goes to Indiana in the trade. Oh
absolutely
my God, dude.
Nothing.
Imagine trading James Harden for 8 pick swaps from a team that's going to be in the NBA Finals the next 5 years.
They literally, that is as bad as the highway robbery.
Oh yeah. It's worse than Paul. I mean,
the Paul George at least.
The Thunder got Shea.
Yeah, and 70 picks.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to this though. All-NBA teams. That was also what we predicted. So first team All-NBA in real life was Steph, Luka, Giannis, Kawhi, and Jokic. My first team was Dame, Luka, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic. So I went 3 for 5 with Luka, Giannis, and Jokic. And you had Dame, Luka, Giannis, Tatum, Jokic. So you went 3 for 5 too. So
mine was definitely worse.
Solid, yeah.
Definitely worse.
Yeah, I had Tatum instead of LeBron. We both had Dame. I don't know how neither of us had Steph Curry. Did we think he was not going to come back and play well?
Apparently, we both thought Damian Lillard was going to get into GOAT talk.
I mean, it was talks about Steph and Dame on first team this year and Luka being second team, but Steph for sure was first team.
Oh, easily.
Second team All-NBA in real life. I love how I say it like that.
In real life. We created an alternate fake life.
In our fantasy world. Second team, though, was Chris Paul, Dame Lillard, LeBron, Julius Randle, which I got that one right, and and Joel Embiid. My second team was Steph Curry, James Harden, Jason Tatum, KD, and Embiid. So I only got one with Embiid.
Wow.
So Harden didn't make it because of injury. KD didn't make it because of injury. So those ones are kind of exempt, whatever. And then you had Steph Curry, James Harden, LeBron. So you got LeBron on the second team, right? That's
what?
Who guesses that, bro?
What?
Then you had AD and Embiid. So you got 2 out of 5. Bro, I listened to this episode. You didn't have Giannis on an All-NBA team when we did these predictions.
Did I just forget?
You had AD on the first team and Bam on the second team at the 4. And I was like, so you just don't have Giannis? And you were like, oh my God, I forgot about Giannis. So you just moved AD to second team and Giannis on first team.
Good call, Yunker. Good game. That's a game time decision.
Yeah. Game time decision. How do you guess LeBron on the second team, though? That's such a wild guess.
And even after you're like, oh, what about Giannis? I was like, screw it. AD to second team, not put LeBron on first team.
Yeah.
Put the guy I forgot about on first team.
I know. Straight from forgotten to first team. He don't have to earn his way up there. And then third team was Kyrie Irving, in real life, Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Rudy Gobert. My third team was Bradley Beal, Paul George, Kawhi, AD, and Cat. So I went 2 for...
And that's the third team is the hardest team to guess.
Yeah. Third team, yeah, definitely it is.
Easily.
I knew I would just put Beal on there because I figured he would get love after getting snubbed so much last year. Your third team, this is actually kind of crazy. Your third team was Trae Young and Devin Booker at the guards. That's just so weird, though, because now they're performing.
I just know everything.
Your predictions are more playoffs. Next year, Booker and Trae Young will make it.
I definitely think so.
And then you had Kawhi, Siakam, and DeAndre Ayton. So those last 2 are a little tough, but Siakam, he just kind of sucked. His team sucked.
Yeah, everything.
He wasn't
about
that
him.
bad.
Everything about that. After. Okay. Disclaimer. If I would have been a year late, DeAndre Ayton will be third team All-NBA next year.
not first team?
No, I'm throwing it out there right now. DeAndre Ayton I will repeat third team All-NBA. I thought the jump would come.
What about Isaiah Stewart?
Isaiah Stewart will not be third team All-NBA. He will be first team All-Defense.
Oh, facts.
That's the difference between Beef Stew and as if Ayton isn't as good of a defender.
I know. As good. He's definitely better.
DeAndre Ayton, though, real quick. I'm still hyped with you. I'm so excited for next year with DeAndre Ayton.
As they're in the finals.
Can't
wait for next year.
Dude, I assume he's going to average 14 rebounds a game and 20 points, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And those are elite big man numbers. He's just like DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, except just way
better. Way better.
And then let's talk about the rookie and defensive teams. All rookie first team this year was Melo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Sadiq Bey, and Jayshawn Tate. And my rookie first team was LaMelo Ball, Killian Hayes, Denny Avdia, Obi Toppin, oh my God, and James Wiseman, bro.
What?
That is a horrible team.
That team blows.
Oh my
that team
God.
wins
I mean,
2
last
games.
year's rookie team was really hard to guess because
Like Jayshawn Tate. Nobody's even
and it wasn't like they didn't have a real rookie offseason too. And like this class also was like kind of trash coming in at least. So I got Melo Ball right. That's it. Like Hayes obviously was hurt, but like definitely didn't deserve it. Denny was like no way he was gonna make a team. Obi Toppin, no way.
Barely even played.
And Wiseman too. Like
and
those are all bad.
But like at the same time, you got to look at the other side. Nobody would have guessed Jayshawn Tate, Sadiq Bey. Like, come on.
We didn't guess Sadiq. If we didn't guess Sadiq Bey,
nobody
else is.
Nobody.
We didn't even guess that.
I hardly knew who Sadiq Bey was. Like coming out of Nova.
Dude, I want to. Okay, this is like super going off topic again.
That's okay.
But,
I like this.
I just want to see. I remember when we did our original mock draft 20. Should we like react to that another time? Should I not look at it right now? Because I think I had Sadiq Bey going like 10th or 11th.
I doubt I
fell to 18th.
If you can find which one it is, I'll look it up too.
It was like probably 30 something if I had to guess. This is super. Oh yeah, it's gotta be because 31 is the 31's the bubble. 33. Yeah, I had Sadiq Bey 11th pick to the Spurs, so he fell to us because we only did a lottery. That's all we did was a lottery.
Oh my word! I didn't even have him on my honorable mentions, but that was just cool, guys.
We didn't even like cool. It's so weird how different we do things now. Like all I did was write down these guys' names and that's it. But like I didn't really know much about these guys.
Like if you asked me to name off something about like Jaden McDaniels, who I was the 14th pick, I don't know where he went to school.
Patrick Williams at 14.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I had him at 13. Isaac Okoro out of Auburn. I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tyrese Halliburton. Are you shitting me? I just thought he sounded cool. Like.
Anyways, getting back to this, your first team all rookie was Melo Ball.
Yep.
Isaac Okoro, which he made the second team, so
he's a baller.
Not a bad one. Denny Avdia, Obi Toppin, and James Wiseman. So you had like one better one than me.
That was awful.
But like we said, I mean, no one would have guessed Sadiq Bey, Jayshawn Tate. Even like Tyrese Halliburton, I don't know though, because he fell in the draft.
People did.
Because I had him on my second team. And then the second team all rookie was Emmanuel Quickley, Desmond Bane, Isaac Okoro, Patrick Williams, and Isaiah Stewart. Like I said, if we didn't pick Isaiah Stewart, no one was.
Nobody did.
Like I was hating on the Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, you were like, what a shitty pick.
It was at the time. Like I thought he was just gonna be just a short center that can't shoot. And then he started to shoot. Yeah, exactly. And then the all rookie second team, my pick was I had Anthony Edwards on the second team. So did you actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not crazy.
How the hell did we not? He was the first overall pick. Why
we
did
were like, he'll be decent.
He sucks.
It was because D'Lo.
Probably.
That's why.
Yeah. And Malik Beasley.
Yep.
I had Anthony Edwards, Isaac Okoro, so I got that right. Tyrese Halliburton, Precious Achua, and I had Bol on the second team because some reason I thought he was a rookie, which he wasn't a rookie. So.
But that's way better. That's a good second team.
Yeah, the second team is
those are all good players.
Yeah, definitely respectable pick. Your second team was Anthony Edwards, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Vassell, and Onyeka Okongwu. That's not bad.
Those are all pretty solid players.
Better rookies than the first team.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely. Our second teams would kill our first teams.
Couple more things here. Defensive teams. These ones we did pretty well. So the all defensive first team was Simmons, Drew Holiday, Giannis, Draymond, and Gobert. My defensive team was Simmons, Drew Holiday, Giannis, and then I had AD and Bam. So I went 3 for 5. Didn't have Gobert on the first team. I don't know how. Then you had Simmons, Marcus Smart, Kawhi, Giannis, and AD. So you went 2 for 5.
Okay.
Second team ended up being Matisse Thybulle, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi, Bam, and Joel Embiid. And I had Marcus Smart, Paul George, Kawhi, Draymond, and Gobert. So, I mean, like, all good defenders. Guys who made first team.
You named off 10 really good defenders this year.
And same with your team is fine too. Drew Holiday, except you have one guard and all the 4 big men. Drew Holiday, Rudy Gobert, Draymond, Bam, and Ayton.
Holy shit,
team.
Ricky.
And then last thing that we did, we predicted 5 players that would get traded during the season as well. So I thought this would be cool to write down and see which players actually got traded. So the 5 players that I had, I counted D Rose and Blake as a 1.
Okay.
And technically, yes, because Blake didn't get traded, but he got cut, was on a different team.
Traded.
Technically, he was traded.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
He's traded.
So I got that one right. I had Buddy Hield on here because we all thought he was getting traded. Didn't. DeRozan didn't get traded, but he might have on a new team. Kevin Love, I had him. Don't know how he didn't get traded. And then I had Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon did get traded.
Yeah.
And when I said Aaron Gordon, we all were like, or both of us were like, all the dudes on the Magic will get traded. Like Vucevic, Fournier, Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross didn't, but the other guys did. And then you had Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin, so 2 for 2. Victor Oladipo got traded twice. That's like a double points.
I'm nuts. Nice.
And then Bradley Beal, and I didn't get a 5th one for you, so
I probably forgot.
But yeah, Bradley Beal was your last one. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up today's episode. If you are listening, comment Suns in 4 on our YouTube.
Yeah, Suns in Fo.
Yeah, FO. If it's not FO, you're not getting a shout out. Sorry.
Yeah, because that means you turned it off 5 seconds too early.
Suns and Fo on the YouTube. We'll make sure that the comments are on.
And hold up.
I mean Easton, make sure the comments are on.
Dude, I don't know what I did.
It just says comments are turned off, so there's got to be a way to turn them on.
I went through and I was like clicking on everything, nothing popped up. If the YouTube ain't working, go comment on the Instagram, but the YouTube should be working.
Yeah, and go give us a like and follow our TikTok, and peace.
Peace.